Hey guys, today we're talking about some of the symptoms of borderline personality disorder and what that actually looks like in real life. Um, the first symptom people with borderline have is they tend to be pretty impulsive. They don't really take a lot of time to think about a decision, they more or less just rush into it. Let's say they get an idea in their head, they want to just leave state, they just up and do it without any thinking of the consequences or who they're affecting. They might quit a job just because they feel like it. It could be an impulsive thing. So not a lot of thought is put into their decisions. So they tend to be a little bit impulsive. People that have borderline can be reckless, in a lot of areas. Reckless with their own life, reckless with other people's lives. They don't really think of the other person often, only because um, borderline is so closely attached to antisocial personality disorder. It's almost like hand in hand with each other, because with borderline, you see a lot of antisocial behaviors that go with it. People that have borderline personality have a major fear of abandonment. So these are the people that you're going to see end up getting, protection orders on them, getting the police called on them. Let's say they have a breakup with their girlfriend. They're the guy that's going to show up at, 2 o'clock in the morning to talk about things and get the cops called on him. And it may be just a complete innocent thing. He might actually just want to talk and try to work things out. But the borderline individual is going to make a big deal about it and call the police and get the police. They love drama. That's another thing. So being reckless like that is definitely a big feature of it. The fear of abandonment is really real to them. So that's what drives a lot of their choices and decisions, is that fear of abandonment. So oftentimes, like in relationships, they may even end a relationship because they think that it might be over soon, so they're going to leave the other person first, or maybe they just can't attach to the other individual, so they have like a inability to attach. Often this is a result of childhood experiences where they didn't attach to their parental figures, so they have a very, very hard time attaching to people in general. Sometimes that fear of abandonment, like I said, can cause a lot of behaviors, and it can actually cause other people to go away. They might start feeling stalked by the individual, or they might feel afraid, if they're just, showing up at their house to talk about things. Um, it affects men and women exactly the same. They've proven that there's just as many cases of men of men having borderline as women. Um, there's a thing called a love hate cycle with somebody that has borderline, and this can affect how they view their romantic partner, where they may idealize that partner, so they really, really think highly of that partner. It may be for a couple weeks or something like that. It really is person specific on the actual triggers to switch to the value devalue cycles. But then they all switch to the devalue cycle. So this can include friends, family members. It can include their romantic partner. So in the devalue stage, they just view the other person as not having much value to their life. So they'll ignore the person, ghost the person. Literally, individuals with borderline, once they reach the devalue stage, will literally just ghost. Like, let's say they have a romantic partner, they'll literally just ghost the partner, which means they don't talk about things. They don't, want to be accountable for why they did something. They will literally just leave with no explanation. Um, let's see here. Low self-esteem and feelings of emptiness, chronic feelings of emptiness, and also having a low self-esteem. Being very sensitive. People that have borderline personality, they tend to have a lot of suicidal ideation, whether it's thoughts. They may keep it to themselves, or they may actually share those suicidal thoughts. They have suicide attempts, and people that have borderline, sadly, have actually, a lot of cases, have actually committed suicide. Um, so that's actually really sad in itself. People that have borderline are really suffering on the inside. So you really need to have like some compassion on them, because it's not their fault. They have a mental illness that's causing all these behaviors. Um, Individuals with borderline, they also can drive recklessly, And I think it's a disregard for their own safety, and also because of the antisocial features, they disregard your safety if you're a passenger. They tend to kind of just view people as objects, I think, of how that other person's gonna meet their needs. I once had a borderline individual tell me that she was sleeping with me because she, quote, needed me. Not because it was, something that was romantic, or not because sex is a good thing, but they basically sometimes use sex to get what they want. You know, Individuals that have borderline can also have major substance abuse issues, so alcohol, other drugs, even hard drugs. They'll exchange sex for the hard drugs. This isn't every single case, guys. But this is a lot of cases. I've actually seen this where women have gone and exchanged sex for drugs. I've actually seen it with my own eyes. Um, Intense anger. So let's say you're friends with this individual, or it's your partner. You could say the most innocent thing, and the borderline person will literally go into a rage, so much to the point where if you're in the car, they may kick you out of the car, they may kick you out of their apartment. Um, it's just that intense anger that often is inappropriate. Physical attacks. I've dated like two or three borderline women. One of which has actually physically assaulted me numerous times, grabbed me by the throat, slapped me in the face. Other things, I would usually just put my hands up and say, "Honey, just take a minute, calm down, de-escalate the situation quick." Because you don't want to get into a combative situation with your borderline partner, because you're going to look like the bad person every time and probably end up going to jail. Even if the borderline person starts the physical altercation, you may actually, as the partner, end up going to jail because they'll make you look like the bad guy and the police will believe it. So the physical attacks, throwing things, throwing objects, very quick temper and extremely sensitive. They're set off extremely easy, very, very, very easily triggered. Um, the love hate cycles can be incredibly hard on people around them. They go quickly from idealizing others to devaluing them, and it's often, like I said, that romantic partner. They move from love to hate. They In the hate cycle, they view others as manipulative and abandoning them. They actually, in the hate cycle, more or less hate the person, but that can switch quickly too. Within a few days to a week, they could be back in the love cycle. Um, Often involved, like I said, they're often involved with law enforcement because of domestic violence. Often these borderline women will attack their partner, and then the partner will like either restrain them or push them away, and the partner will actually end up going to jail because once the police get there, and let's say the woman has marks on her or something from the guy either restraining her or pushing her, he'll end up being looking like the bad guy. So if you have a partner like that, my best advice for you is, if they get really superheated like that, maybe just remove yourself from the situation. um, Treatment, I've heard that they use cognitive behavior therapy. Um, like I said, borderline shares a lot of features and can actually be co occurring with antisocial personality disorder, which can make the individual sociopathic. So they don't have much regard for your feelings in the hate cycle. They actually don't care at all. They could care less if you're upset. In that hate cycle, they could care less. Um, in the love cycle, they're just like, mashed potatoes and gravy in the love cycle. But the thing that sucks for the romantic partner is that can quickly switch to the hate cycle, and it's very hard on the partner. Let's see here. No regard for your feelings in the devalue stage. They will literally ghost you. Like if they're in the devalue stage, they literally just ghost you. I mean, I've literally dated borderline women where everything was going really great with us. Our friendship was going great. Everything was going great. Um, and then literally just out of the blue, just ghost me. Like, bye. Like literally, they don't even talk about what they're upset about, why they left. And the reason why they don't talk about why they left or what the reasons are is because they don't actually give a fuck what you think. They don't care about your feelings in the devalue cycle. They don't care. about you understanding why. They don't care about you knowing the reasons why they left. And the devalue stage, they have no regard for your feelings. So don't try to get them to have sympathy on you or anything in the devalue cycle, because they could care less if you're upset. That's why they don't talk about stuff, because they don't care if you know. They don't have any regard for you as a human being in the devalue cycle. And the love cycle, they're mashed potatoes and gravy. Let's see here. Um, they manipulate to get what they want. This can include sex. So if they're trying to, let's say they have a drug problem or something, they may actually go sleep with a guy to get drugs. You know, show up at the guy's house and throw themselves at the guy to get free drugs. I've seen this many times. Um, let's see here. They found out that it's equally shared between men and women, and that genetics can play a role. And they've also found out that early childhood experiences can contribute to the disorder. Abuse and neglect as a child can lead to it. And the biggest thing, I think, is that lack of attachment to the parental figure. So they don't actually attach to the father figure or the mother figure. So, of course, you know, if they're an adult woman or an adult man, if they never attach to their mom or dad, why would you think they'd attach to you as a romantic partner? And that's exactly what's happening. Because they have attachment issues, they're not going to attach to you. That's how they can so quickly just ghost you, just leave your life, because they never actually attach to you. I think it was more about getting their needs met. You know, you were probably thinking this is an equally shared beneficial relationship, but to them, it's all about them because of the antisocial personality co-occurring disorder with the borderline. So they can have the borderline and have antisocial features with it, which basically makes them sociopathic. So that's why they have no regard for your feelings in the hate cycle. Um, in the love cycle, they can be incredibly sweet. They can, I mean, God, they will send you 20, 30 messages about how you're the best boyfriend in the world, how you're the best girlfriend in the world. And then, like, just out of the blue, turn to the hate cycle where they may, you know, say they're not going to talk to you anymore. You know, they may literally just ghost you, like I said. But anyway, guys, this is some symptoms of borderline personality. If you guys have anything you want to add to the either love cycle symptoms or the devalue cycle symptoms, you can leave it in the comments. And if you like this video, you can subscribe. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. And remember, this is all meant just for informational purposes. This is not meant to bash on borderline people at all. Um, you know, I care about everybody in this world, and I don't want anyone to feel less than. Mental illness is a real thing, guys, and a lot of us are suffering with those mental illnesses. So let's all have, you know, compassion on each other and help each other be happy, you know, and help each other get help. So until next time, thank you so much. Bye.